Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Mike, Tim, Abby, Mihai, Nerdstrong, Jackie, Whitney. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you guys. Let's see. We have track herbs on. I think I'm gonna run around for a little bit and pick herbs. We'll start over this way. And we'll fight whatever inconsequential things get in our way. Zenkai, Anubis, Exact, Paul, Ryans. Welcome, guys. And who did I get a whisper from that I just saw? Zenkai, yeah, I'll move your, I'll pop your bank alt up to an actual member here. There we go. Okay. People in Discord are asking for guild invites. The easiest way is going to be for them to pop into chat and toss their character name into chat. Otherwise, it's going to have to wait till I take a break. If they leave them there, I will get to them after the stream today. If they want to get into the guild now, then they should definitely join chat. And they should definitely just pop their character name in, and then I will be able to invite people as I see them. But yeah, otherwise I'll get to it later. Obviously, as you know, I'm not like a huge Discord person. Because the frequency with which I check Discord is like once every couple days. Which I'm not proud of it, but that's the reality of it. Discord reminds me too much of Microsoft Teams in like a corporate setting. It's basically Microsoft Teams. And so I don't check it a lot. The time that I use Discord the most has always just been for the voice servers. Because my guild went to Discord when we moved away from Ventrilo. Yeah, Alex, I had to drop mining. I had to drop mining last night, and I picked up herbalism. We had gotten our mining skill to like 6, and we were 7 or 8 hours into the character. And I felt like every time I was going for a mining node, there was somebody ahead of me, or I just wasn't finding any. And I kept running by all these herbs that no one seemed to care about. So I swapped out mining for herbalism. Yeah, and I think that's probably going to work better for me. Because I feel like I'll actually be able to keep it skilled up. I can't get Earthroot yet. I put a little bit of leather and stuff on the auction house this morning. On my bank alt, and yeah, things are not selling for a lot. It's like you can vendor a stack for 2 silver. Or you could sell it on the auction house for 4 silver. You have to have a really like nickel and dimey kind of like way about you to feel like it's worth it to put things on the auction house right now. I did put it up there instead of vendoring it, but oh, you're stealing my herbs. But it kind of pained me to put it up there. Oh, he failed it. He failed his I could have swiped it right from him. He failed the first time he tried it. It stayed up on the map. What server is this? This is Skull Rock. Marlena, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Is there a decent amount of Horde? I think so. I originally thought that most Horde would go Skull Rock and most Alliance would go Pillager, but I don't have any actual data to back that up yet. And I don't think we've gotten any of the server stats published anywhere on any of the sites. Let's have a look. WoW Classic Hardcore Server Population. I don't know. Doesn't look like it. I still see no data. Let's do a search on Warcraft Tavern. No, they're not even listed yet on Warcraft Tavern. Not even listed. So we don't know. I've encountered enough players that I could not level up mining, so there are more than 2 Horde players on the server. I will at some point put the Discord into the guild info. But I've been really wary about putting the link to Discord anywhere after the last time I put the link to Discord somewhere and had to delete all of my chat channels in Discord. That was the nail in the coffin for me in Discord. It was like I saw how easy it was just to wreck somebody's Discord because you're in a bad mood, you know? And part of me thought, like, yeah, that's not even effing worth it. I don't even want to deal with the hassle of, like, somebody blowing up my Discord. It's going to be 4 in the morning. I don't have any moderators. You know, I'm going to wake up to my Discord's going to be full of, like, freaking garbage when I wake up one day. Like, I don't really want to deal with that. That's kind of why I haven't done much with the Discord, why I'm not in Discord. That was, like, I was thinking about trying to be more into the Discord and stuff like that, and then, yeah. And then some jerk obliterated my Discord. And I haven't had the willpower or the care to do much with it since. Is it a balanced server? Yeah, Mr. Hassel, we don't know yet. Yeah. It may be like, I think maybe it will be 60-40. Maybe they'll both be 60-40, but on Warcraft Tavern, which is where I usually check for server populations, they don't even have these servers listed yet that I can find. So it may be another week or so before we have any actual numbers. Wouldn't it be cool if Blizzard could just make the numbers transparent so you could see at a glance the percentage of Horde and Alliance characters? It's probably really easy data for them to parse and like make public, but they don't do it. It only matters in the event that, you know, it's majorly Alliance. I guess as long as there's some people, you're right, it doesn't matter. It depends, you know. I could see multiple arguments for it not mattering a lot. As long as it's not like 90% Alliance, 10% Horde, then it doesn't matter. But sometimes that's how servers go. A lot of times that's how servers go, you know. There aren't a lot of well-balanced Warcraft servers. But maybe these will be among the few and the proud. Defias Pillager is the streamer server? I heard Zeri was going to Skull Rock, but maybe someone lied to me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm obviously not a streamer. Otherwise I'd be on Twitch. So, that doesn't bother me. Yeah, like no matter where you play in the game, if you want to find a reason why you picked the wrong server, then like you're gonna find a reason why. I guess best just not to worry about it too much and play the game. Eventually, think about this, eventually if you get to like level 40, it's going to be empty no matter what. Because, you know, majorly people are not going to get that high in level. So like eventually, no matter what the population size is, if you do survive, you're going to be around less and less and less people anyway. Yeah, I can see. Oh, you jerk. This guy's like on me. Oh, you're not stealing my herb? Okay, good. I thought he was stealing my herb. Sorry, buddy. I overreacted. Yeah, if you end up on a server that's just like, if it's 10% Horde, 90% Alliance, Mihai, and you end up on Horde, yeah. All of a sudden you realize, oh, there's nobody playing the game. It's like, oh, they're playing the game. They're just on a different server or on the different faction. And like, especially people who are like newer to the game, like they don't realize that like your server choice and faction choice often have to align. You can't just like go play Horde on Storm Rage or something like that, because that's not going to work. All I'm really doing right now for anybody who's joining in, I'm just running around trying to do some herbing while people see that the stream is up. This guy, man. Oh, who are you? Gwillian? Get out of here, man. More layering, please. More herbs. Didn't they do something in Season of Mastery where they increase the amount of resources that spawn into the world? Or am I making that up? I feel like I remember in Season of Mastery they increased how many nodes spawned, and they increased like how quickly they respawned. I think we really need something like that for hardcore. Because yeah, competing with people for all these nodes is it's kind of disgusting. Also, people probably do this thing called like using an add-on to find the node. So this guy's probably using an add-on, which means he has an edge because he can run towards where the add-on says there will likely be a spawn. Maybe I should consider like a gathering add-on in light of the competition. John, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. Alright, I want to make my way back over this way, because I think that's where we're going to pick up with some... I don't think I'm going to do Family Crypt yet, it's level 13, and you have to go into the Family Crypt, which I'm not really looking forward to that, you know? Gather Mate 2. Yeah, here, let's... maybe we just get that going right away. A lot of times with add-ons I procrastinate, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check that out later. I'm not going to check it out later. It's like when your parent would tell you maybe. Like, well, maybe. Oh, then can we go see this movie? Maybe. Maybe means no. And like, I'll check it out later means I will forget and not do that later. So let's see. Gather Mate 2. Okay, cool. Install. There's Gather Marker. Oh no, Gather Mate 2 Marker. Okay, read the whole name, Robert. Now, do I have to relog to get that to work? Yes, I'm gonna relog really quick. This is probably not like the greatest place to do it, but let's just log out here and we'll hope that we don't get attacked. Ra, you died last night? Skull Rock? Was it? It was Skull Rock. No! But the server name warned you. Hey, I lost the last Troll Mage in Skull Rock. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to close out complete. Oh no, it's here. I'm just not looking because I'm stupid. It's alphabetical, Robert. Yeah, it's alphabetical order. Skull Rock, man. Oh, that's a tough one. All right, now the other question is, how in the world do I get this thing to work? That's the other question. This is not where I want to be. I want to be in the options. Oh god. Okay, add-ons. Here we go. Gather Marker 2. Add-on enabled. Oh, good. Huh. Okay. Only with professions. Only with okay, okay. I guess it's... Let's see. No, I got nothing. I have no idea how to make this thing work. So there's that. Reason number 736 for me to not use add-ons. It's because I just don't know how to configure them, and I'm too ADD to read the words and figure it out. Oh no, a short video. Alex, my heart just sank. Short video. Fuck. I have to do research to configure my add-on. It might not happen. I can't explain what it is inside of me. When it comes to a video game, I don't want to have to read a guide, and I don't want to have to watch a video. I don't know what it is. I think at this point it's like, it's abject stubbornness. I'm not willing to change. You know, I would never watch the raid videos back in the day that my friend would tell me to watch. I would just listen. I would just wait for his explanation of the mechanics. Like, I'll try, but I don't know. You just said Discord and short video, and those two things are like the bane of me when it comes to a video game. Because it's just like work. It's like homework. Now I gotta have the video up on one screen. I gotta have the configurations up on the other. Oh, add-ons. Yeah. Oh, I see. It did a thing. Look, it left a little thing behind. That's more than less than unhelpful. I don't know. Like, okay, so like, sure. I see what it's doing. Yeah. Okay. That's. I guess that's useful to a degree. Like, if you're farming a lot in an area, or you're spending a lot of time in an area farming, then I guess that could be useful. Yeah, I think it's already set up for that to track my professions, Alex. I think it's already, it looked like it was already doing that. Yeah, gather mate 2. Show mining nodes, you know, only with professions. I'm gonna do like never show, herbalism, always show. That's fine, and that's fine. And that's how it's like by default set up. And then there's not really a lot else going on. Like, I don't see a lot of other options in this thing that could warrant like needing a video to set it up, you know what I mean? It didn't seem to have a lot of options unless there's something that I'm missing. Import. Okay. Hario, good morning. Thanks for being here. Alright, well, let's see. Let's have another look. I don't seem to have oh shit. Okay, well, let me tell you this. In real life, if there's shit below this, it's a plus. It's not a minus. The minus means you're gonna pull the menu back up into itself. The plus would mean you're gonna expand the menu down. Why are these not pluses and minuses? Why are these just minuses? Have they never looked at a UI for any other system before they made this? I didn't think there was anything under this because it's a minus, and I thought, oh, it's fully retracted already. There's nothing to show. This should be a plus until I click it, and then it's basic UI design. Son of a bitch. Okay, import. Oh. Oh, good. Oh, good. Nope. Nope. No, it's a Blizz bug. It's. I think they designed it that way because they're stupid. Yeah, I think they designed it that way because they're stupid, and they don't have enough of like an editorial process where like peers look at their work and review the work before it gets into production, and then they don't listen to any feedback, and then they don't expose themselves to other games or other systems. Yeah, I think it's a lot of different things working together. Yeah, I never would have thought to click that to drop it down because in my brain, if there was anything underneath it, it would have been a plus symbol there. I just never would have clicked it, you know, I never would think to. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm not getting up there apparently. It was like that in the old UI. I never noticed a bunch of drop downs in the old UI. Maybe it's not as prominent. Oh, that's Earthroot. I can't get the Earthroot. And so it's not going to track it on my map because I couldn't collect it. Yeah, so it's like that in the old UI. So they updated the UI, but they didn't think to change it. I don't know. What can we say? It's Blizzard, so we shouldn't be too surprised. Let's see. Hey, look, herbalism is already at a higher skill level than mining was after 8 hours. So that's pretty good. I think I'll come up through here a little bit. Maybe we'll come down this way, and we'll start in on the questing after we do like a big loop of the lake. And we'll just get whatever materials we can, and then this add-on will, I guess it'll track where I found herbs. I don't know how useful that'll end up being. Maybe I'll look at it later and try to configure it more, but again, me saying I'll look at it later means that I will not have the energy, care, or thought to do it. This hill looks impassable right now. I don't think I can get up this. That's weird. Yeah. Mihai, the AI voice add-on is really good. I didn't use it originally. Well, I started using it, and then I thought, like, if there comes a day when Blizz says this is not okay to be in the game, because they've given the axe to other AI voice add-ons in the past. I thought it would suck to have like an immersive playthrough that like started using it, and then Blizz like gives it the axe, and then the rest of the playthroughs without it. So I kind of did it for like consistency. But now that it's been out for so long, I kind of wish I was using it in my immersive stuff. Because yeah, it's been going for so long now, and they haven't given it the axe, and they haven't given any indication that they're going to, and it seems like it gets better and better all the time. Like, I don't know if they continue to develop it or what, but I heard some of the Night Elf dialogue on accident when we started the Night Elf Hunter, because I had it on by accident, and like, it sounded really good. It sounded even better than I remember. Like, everybody should use it who's like playing on their own and they want to hear the quest. Like, the original reason I didn't was just because of like fear for the consistency of the content. Yeah, Kurub, I feel like it can be, like, if you're farming a lot in an area and you plan to farm there for like multiple days, it could be useful. The talking add-on is the AI voice add-on. If you type AI voice into CurseForge, you'll find it. Yeah, I just have no data to import. That's the problem. There is no data. There is no data, there is only Zool. So. The folder's in the wrong direction. Oh my god. Like, I'm not doing tech support on my own World of Warcraft add-ons folder. This is why I don't do add-ons. Yeah, once we get into a point where I'm watching a video to see what directory I have to go to drag a file from one directory to it, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll just let it do what it's doing right now. That'll be good enough for me. It'll give me some idea of where herbs are and where herbs are not, and that's all I really need, I guess. The bots. It's gotta be bots. Yeah, we already have confirmation. Johnny let us know that there were already bots that were selling, you can get a gold for $5. So if you guys are ready to swipe your cards, $5 for 1 gold. There you go. hardcore WoW? How deep are your pockets? Did I leave a couple behind, Jason? Yeah, I did. How many others have I left behind? Probably more than 0. Dragon's Bane, you always swipe right. That's a reference. Is that a Tinder reference? That's old school, man. $5 should at least be 10 gold. Man, at 10 gold, $5 for 10 gold, that would be hard to resist. Yeah. Even I've got like $5 laying around somewhere, like in a pair of jeans or something. $5 for 10 gold would firstly, it would probably break the economy really quickly. But if you got in with that 10 gold really quick before like other people got in, you could buy yourself a lot of stuff. Joel, why don't I do Ragefire Chasm with the guild? Oh, I will. I will do it. We're only level 12 right now. Yeah, I'll do it. I want to be like level like 14 or 15. We'll probably do it a couple times because you can do it. You can do it every 24 hours. So I don't even care if like the first time I don't have all the quests. That would be okay. Yeah, but we'll do it eventually. I'm just not high enough level yet. I'm not skinning everything. What's my skinning skill at? It has to be getting kind of high. 100 out of 150. Yeah. It's getting up there. Yeah, Dragon's Bane. I almost had a group member die off yesterday too. We were fighting Murlocs and he kept making some like poor choices. And he almost died while in a group with me. And that kind of, it defeated the argument that like because you can group up, like nobody's ever gonna die. Because firstly, like I haven't grouped up a lot anyway. And then secondly, the one time I did group up, this mage almost got himself killed multiple times. How many people are in the guild? Well... Let's see. 59 people right now, only 13 online. So the officers are obviously putting in some work. Because I didn't invite that many people. I didn't invite all those people. It kind of like, it adds another layer of difficulty with the stream, because now like sometimes when I'll have guild chat to monitor and chat to monitor. It's a lot of different chats to monitor while you're playing hardcore WoW. 90,000 deaths on in the first hour when the server's open. Are you sure it's like 90,000 characters? 90,000 deaths? That seems like overkill. I would expect like maybe that to be a number of characters created, but not necessarily that many deaths. It's a lot of death. What's killing people in the first hour? Yeah, the name guy. The name guy thing is my fault. You guys remember like opening night when I ranted for a long time about how name guys should respawn every 10 seconds? Guess what Blizzard did? They made it so that name guys respawn basically instantly. So, sorry? I'm not too sorry. I mean, I'm sorry for anyone that it's gotten killed. But I'm really happy that we can have our name guys. Skullrock is killing everyone. Yeah, that's pretty typical of it. For this quest, I have a quest to kill Captain Vakan. Is this dude up here? I think I get this guy confused with somebody who is somewhere else. We can go have a look since I'm already up here. Oh no. Oh no. These are not the Scarlet guys you're looking for. Boop. Yeah, so we're not gonna charge in like that. That's off the table. You know what? Like, I don't even know if I should be up here dealing with these guys right now because I'm pretty sure Captain Vakan, wherever he is gonna have at least 2 other dudes with him. How did I move the map over? This is Leatrix Maps, so I'm using an add-on for this. It's called Leatrix Maps. And yeah, it shrinks it down and it lets you put it wherever you want. Which is pretty helpful. Yeah, let's come out to the road here. Oh god. Okay. Camera zoom out time. Too much stuff going on right here to have a close camera. Yeah, if this dude's up in the tower, and if there aren't any other players around, then I don't think I'm going to be able to get him. From what I recall, he comes with at least 2 other dudes. You have it, but you can't move it? I remember, like, having some difficulty moving it right away. I feel like you should just be able to click it near the top. Like, it doesn't give an indication, right? You can't click it here, you can't click and drag here, you can only click and drag at, like, the very top, it seems. Like, at the very top. Like, aim for the black border and grab that. Yeah, it's like anywhere else it won't, but if you grab the black border, it'll move it. Anywhere else it won't do squat. I don't know why. I remember maybe that's the problem. I remember that kind of messed with me when I first got the add-on. Wix, we are on Skull Rock. Okay, they might have a heal. That looked like it was going to be a big heal. And the weird thing is, like, Questie is not marking that this guy is up here, so I think I have to be thinking of a different named guy, right? It does look like a priest up here, yep. This is not the captain I need. Son of a biscuit. This isn't the guy I need. I'm gonna help him get this guy, I think, because I need some other guys here. But this is not Captain Vakan. Where the hell is Captain Vakan? Why don't I have no recollection of where this guy is at. I'll help this guy clear since, you know, we need friars. Like, these are the right NPCs. It's just not the right named guy. It's so weird. Yeah, how would we want to do this? Level 8, easy. Level 12, not great. Level 8. Okay, so kill the level 8s first, basically. He's in the east near the spiders. Oh, okay. He's down here somewhere, maybe? This is the next quest. Or this guy's like, you going in? I'm like, nah, you pull him out. Alright, there we go. We helped him get his name guy, and I'm out. Because that's not the guy we're looking for. Okay, let's head down to the spiders. Your princess is in another castle. Nah, I don't really want to run around in a group of people like a lot of the time. Mainly the times I want to group up is like if it's just a super dangerous area, you know, maybe I group up. If it's a named guy, I'll group up if I have the opportunity. If it's an elite quest, I'll group up, but like I don't want to run around a lot in like a group. I know that like might not make sense, but like I'll group occasionally. I'm just not going to try to like be grouped up all the time. I don't mind it when I'm playing with somebody, but when it's just like a random person out in the world, like I said yesterday, I grouped up with a mage fighting murlocs and he'd go one way and pull, I'd be running the other way. He'd pull 3 guys that I didn't want to pull, I'd have to come save him. It was just kind of a pain in the butt. It was a pain in the butt, and quite frankly, it almost got him killed a couple times because he got overconfident that I was there with him, and he would just start throwing ice bolts into groups of 3, and I would be headed the other direction. And so like when I'm playing with somebody and we're on comms, like absolutely, I love grouping up. But when it's like just a random person, I don't want to do it unless it's a named guy, an elite, or the area is super dangerous, then I want a group of many people. That way it doesn't matter if a couple of them run off, they're less likely to get themselves killed by thinking, hey, this warrior, he's got my back, I can pull all these guys, and then he dies, and then it's like, he's not going to be happy. He thought warriors had throwing weapons. I can use throwing weapons or bows or guns. I have to train some of them, and I just don't have anything yet. Yeah. We can get a throwing weapon. I don't know what I have by default. I have no ranged weapons by default. I have to train them, so we'll have to look into doing that soon. Tim, I don't know how to cook, but that doesn't sound like it would be good. I don't really know anything about cuisine, but it sounds awful. It sounds bad. Oh, did somebody take my herb? Ooh. Ooh. Herb thief. I wish when I visualize it, it would store it. I wish I didn't have to actually pick it up. You're trying to decide on rogue or warlock, Wix? Yeah, I would say that warlock is probably going to be more survivable because of the pet, but then I think about the kinds of things that like pets can get up to. Pets can get up to trouble. But the warlock, I've heard, if you go demonology, is like super survivable. But the rogue is fun. Yeah, Kata said it. The rogue is fun. That was the butt that was coming. But the rogue is fun. And I didn't have a lot of fun on the warlocks, but that's just me. I don't really like pet classes. Ask yourself if you like pet classes, and if you like pet management, and if you like making macros for your pet to do stuff. And if the answer to any of those questions is no, then you should probably go on the rogue. Do they get dismantled to break through armor? I'm not sure if that's a classic era ability or not. Katie, good afternoon. Yeah, the water situation here is it's under control. Yeah, it's under control. I think we're good now. Right now, it's just I got a couple shop fans like drying out the damp corners, and except for the damp corner in my office, which I can't run the fan in while I'm streaming. But yeah, everything is leveling back out to be like normal, and I was able to actually sleep last night for a normal amount of time, as opposed to yesterday when I had like no sleep. So today is a much better day. Yeah, she's good. They did the surgery so quick. It was like a hip joint replacement, and they were just like, it was like boom, an hour, and it was done. And then they had her walking around a little bit, like right afterwards. I guess things are like so minimally invasive these days that you can have like your freaking hip joint replaced, and then like an hour later you can be up walking around a little bit. Like, I'm sure she's in a lot of pain, obviously, from healing, but like the fact that they had her on her feet really shocked me. I guess I know nothing about like modern surgeries. Yeah, I imagine like having to rip the whole leg open and just a bunch of gore, and then like I'm like, how long does it take to heal from that kind of thing? Well, apparently it gets you back on your feet pretty immediately. Yeah, Tim, it's really good. I'm hoping that that, you know, now that she doesn't, it was like basically bone on bone grinding. There was no like cartilage or anything between like the hip joint and like all the other infrastructure down there. I don't know the bone names because I'm stupid. But yeah, it was bone on bone that was like just causing her a lot of pain over the last few years. And so yeah, now she won't have that pain and she'll be able to get her legs stronger again and have like a normal functional life, which is good because she's not even yet 60. She's going to be 60 this year, so there's no reason for her not to be able to have just like a normal functioning body that's like strong, you know. Yeah, and for a while she kind of knew she needed the surgery, and for a while just kind of like, I feel like she put it off a little bit. I don't know if it was because she wasn't sure if she was going to have help in recovery or what, but then we were like, hey, you know, move in here, get the surgery, and then if you need anything, we'll be here. But it sounds like she's just going to be like pretty much back on her feet. Probably like, you know, have to get the muscles strong and stuff. The muscles and stuff are probably going to be like weak for a long time. Yeah, Clint, I should be able to do that for you in a second here. Oh, big heal. Big heal. Is that 2 eyes? Looks like 2 eyes. Oh, instant respawns. Fun. Fun. Did I only get the one? Okay, I'll kill the one. I gotcha. Which, it wasn't a good place for me to do that, I guess, but I thought I'd have more than 2 seconds before the respawns came, but no. You get about 2 seconds before the respawns come, apparently. Let's try to go loot before more respawns come. Alright, so yeah, this guy is not up this way. He must be down to the south somewhere. Carnifexia, you keep playing WoW instead of working on your thesis. How do you force yourself to stop postponing? You have to start putting words on paper. What I would just make sure, like when I was writing training materials and stuff like that, I would just put my categories out. I would kind of like put like a map of like my topics, and then I would try to write like 1 sentence per each category, and just to kind of give me like somewhere to start with each category. Now I don't know anything about writing theses because I'm a dummy. But yeah, when I was writing training materials, I would map out the major subjects first for the module, and then I would write at least 1 sentence to begin each section. And then that way, as I got to each section, I had like a jumping off point, and I didn't sit there like trying to get like the words out. And I made sure to do that right away. As soon as I took on a project for my sprint work, I would map it out right away. And I got words on the paper right away. That way, if I started to feel like distracted or ADD, I had stuff to come back to. That's really like the only advice I can give. And then before you stop working on it for the day, make sure you know what the next thing is that you're going to do. Like if it's a writing thing, like make sure you know what the next sentence is you're going to write before you stop, so that the next day when you come back to it, or the next hour when you come back to it, you're not sitting there like, oh, I don't know. Like always leave yourself a jumping off point for the next time you sit down to work on it is also like a big thing. Oh, Robert, you're muted. Good job. Really professional. We have full inventory. We gotta head back to town. A 15-minute daily stand-up to help plan out your work. Yeah, yeah, let's scrum. Yeah, you can have like a little scrum meeting with yourself just to like talk about like you know what you've done, what you're gonna do next. Yeah, the only way I ever found to deal with procrastination was to start working on something right away and to always leave myself a place to jump back in. And it was the same when I was trying to write fiction as when I was trying to write training materials. It's like I'd start right away, and then when I went to put the work down, I would think, what's the next sentence you're going to write? Don't write it. Don't write it. But you think like, do I know the next thing I'm going to write? And then you just keep that. And then next time you sit down, you can feel like you're being productive right away, because then you're immediately gonna write the thing that you thought about. This is Captain Vacan, right? Yeah, here we go. Let's grab Captain Vacan, and then we'll head back to town. I'm probably gonna need like a little bit of space in my inventory, because we're probably gonna need his head. Okay, I'll take him. I'll take them both. Who else you got? Aw. Spoiling my fun. Oh, we don't need his head. Cool. Apparently I'm going the way back to town that leads right past all the quest objectives. But I think I'm gonna bypass these guys and just get us back. They're bound to drop lots of loot. Set one big goal every day. Yeah, you could set little goals too, though. I think having any kind of goal and then like accomplishing it is good. But yeah, procrastination is tough. I had a friend who I worked with when I was a training developer, and he was like really bad about procrastinating. He would claim all of his sprint work. He'd say, I'm going to work on this, this, and this. And we had it was like a 3-week sprint. Every sprint was 3 weeks. And he would wait till the last week and he'd be like, hey, Rob, hey, can you help me out with this Captivate? Captivate's like an e-learning thing. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, like, what do you got so far? He's like, well, I have the topic. And I'm like, yeah, your Captivate's about to become a quick learning video, because like we can't make a Captivate in 3 days. But he would wait till like the end of the sprint to like panic do all of his work. In like the rest of the time he would just put it off, and he did this over and over and over again. And it always resulted in this panic moment when there were like 3 or 4 days left in the sprint. He'd realize he'd gotten basically nothing done. And then he'd crank it out, you know, but it would never be as good as it could have been, which people notice. And then things would change. Like a Captivate would go from being a Captivate to being like a job aid with some words and some pictures, you know, because he just didn't. There was no way he was ever gonna do the Captivate. But yeah, eventually he's not in that line of work anymore. But yeah, he really struggled with procrastinating. It obviously was something that affected other parts of his life too. That's the thing, is like usually if you're procrastinating with work, it's because that's not the only place in life where you do that. A Captivate's an e-learning thing. It's like a Adobe Captivate. Sorry. Just tossing out training development stuff. I got you, Richard. Lael, good afternoon, man. What's your character name? I'll toss you an invite. We're on Skull Rock. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever I put things off, it increases my anxiety about it. I'm the kind of person, like, if I know there's a thing that has to get done, I would rather do it all right away until it's done. Like, because the worst thing for me is, like, to know something's going to have to be done, but then to put it off. That's why I get really anxious with stuff like about, like, moving. You know, when I knew I was going to have to move my mom, and I knew it had to happen on a certain day, and I knew I couldn't do it before that day, even if I had the energy, the time, and the will to, I had to wait. For me, like, waiting to do work is like the most anxiety-filled thing. Even if it's a scheduled thing that it has to happen on that day, it fills me with so much anxiety looking forward to it, because I see all these other moments before then where I could have done it, where I had the energy, time, and drive to do it already, and not being allowed to do it. Meaty bat wings, I bought a recipe for, so I should start saving those. And I should actually learn cooking so that I can learn the recipe so it's not in my inventory, etc. I think early on I'm just going to vendor, I think I would just want to vendor my stuff. It's selling for so little, like I can keep sending it over to the bank alt, but yeah. I guess to do that I have to go back to town if I want to send it over to the bank alt. Alright, let's go back to town then. I will mail the stuff over. I will keep trying to do the auction house, even though I'm only going to get like 3 more silver for a stack than I would from just vendoring it. Grab a fishing pole. I'll do it. I'll do it right before I'm actually gonna fish. If I grab it now, that's just gonna sit in my inventory. I might try to open up with some fishing next stream. For a while, I was doing good at opening up the streams with fishing and cooking, but then I wasn't. So, mailbox is what I need. But yeah, I'll grab one next time. I don't think I'm gonna do any fishing today. Ooh, thank you. Boop. What else? That should be it. Oh, malachite. Earth roots. And there we go. There you go. I could put this on the auction house. I'm sure like somebody wants that somewhere. Nope. Yeah, I can get you wicks. There you go. Now we need the other captain. Right. Right. Now we need that guy. Okay. So we'll start over here with these guys, and then we'll do the spiders, and then we'll go up to the other captain. Gotcha, Daniel. Did I do the talent for level 13? You know I didn't. Thank you. We're going to go improved heroic strike. You say parry's a much better investment? It could be. I'm gonna go improved heroic strike for now. You might not be wrong, but Joe, when will I do RFC? It'll probably be, you know, it could happen this evening. I'd like to stream a little bit this morning and afternoon, and then come back for an evening stream if that works out. So it'll either be this evening, or if I can't get back on this evening, it will be on the morrow, otherwise known as tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be like level, like 15. I think. I don't need to have all the quests the first time. I'd be fine just going in there and doing the run, because what I want to find out, how they decided to handle the kill XP from the enemies. They had a couple of different ideas they were tossing around on how they were going to handle kill experience in the dungeons. And I want to see if it's worth even doing them without the quests. Obviously you have the chance to get gear, but not really in the lower level dungeons. You don't really start getting decent gear until like SFK, BFD. The demon drops a good one-handed sword, which I'm not going to use. So, there's that. SFK's a nightmare on hardcore? Wix, me and Alex did a SFK run and it went really, really smoothly. It's probably because Alex tanked it. But, yeah. Listen, you know, we're going to do dungeons and maybe that'll get us killed, but I think as many guildies as we can include in the runs, like, the less we have to pug, I think the better we'll be. But there will probably be times when we have to pug some spots, for a while at least. Why not? Come on, is it going to be one of those days, Joe? We're going arms for a while. We're going to go arms until Fury looks interesting, which it's not going to look interesting till level 25, and I'm not going to use an SFK sword, or RFK sword, RFC sword even, all the numbers and letters at level 25, so. If I was a rogue, then I would definitely want that sword. But as an arms warrior, a one-handed sword is not what I want. So yeah, that's why. Which I feel like we already talked about yesterday. The only stuff I'll be doing will be on stream. Yeah, if I do a dungeon, everything's gonna be on stream for the character. I'm not gonna do any stuff off stream. Besides, I might like run around and collect herbs or something off stream. Now that if the character dies, there's no cheating it. Now I might be able to do stuff like collect herbs and stuff off stream, or do some fishing off stream without having to worry about like the legitimacy of the character. But besides that, like, for actual content, questing, dungeons, all that stuff will be on the streams. Alex, you were able to tank RFC in the last day on Blood Sale? That's cool. It's really surprising there were people doing that. Ooh, you know what I need to do? Combat text reactive spells and abilities. If they took this out, I'm going to be very, very upset. Because it's not an option in retail. So you guys have seen it before. In real Classic, with real menus, we have combat text, and we have lots of options for stuff we enable, like fading states, like reactive spells and abilities, and if it's not in this new interface, I'm gonna be pissed. If I can't, like, let's enable it, okay? Show combat state. Where are my other options? Where are my options to show reactive spells and abilities like overpower, like execute? Where did all that stuff go? Is it in the Can I search it like this? Okay. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Ooh. Blizzard, stop messing with my menus. Reactive spells and abilities. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. I'm obviously not in the camp of people that are very happy that they decided to put the retail interface menu into Classic era. I don't understand what their reasoning was behind it and why they couldn't just leave it alone. Well let me say this. They didn't put the retail UI into Classic. They didn't put the retail UI into Wrath of the Lich King. So why do I have to have the brand new menu? Why do I have to have the brand new menu? Yeah, actually, I went my whole first day without realizing they reset all my graphic options. So, like, there's some really important graphic options that I use to make the game not look like ass in the recordings. And so a lot of it is resolution scale. And they had changed everything. And yeah, it was bad. They had defaulted me to like all medium settings. Resolution scale was turned to 100% instead of 200%. And it's like, yeah, thank you for changing the menu and blowing up all of my settings. Much appreciated, Blizz. I really wish they had just left well enough alone. They're doing it to test the boundaries on how the community reacts to small changes. I'd say that they had to get an earful and maybe now they know not to touch stuff. And if you're gonna do something like that, do all of it. Like, don't just do the menu. If you're gonna do it, do everything, because it makes more sense that way. Like, it doesn't make sense just to do an interface menu. But if they wanted just to have the UI be the same across, if they just said, look guys, we want to have our UI be the same across all versions of the game, this is what we're doing going forward, please feel free to use add-ons to change anything you don't like. That would be like a lot more straightforward than like slowly pushing elements of the retail interface into all versions of the game. If they just said, hey, we want it all to be the same, it makes it easier for blah 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 blah, and we're gonna do it that way. And then it'd be like, well, that sucks, but okay, at least you were straightforward about it. I don't think they know how to be straightforward about their intentions. The search function is amazing for people who haven't learned the menus in Classic over 20 years. But for people who have spent 20 years playing the game and we're playing Classic now and we know where all the menu options are at by memory, it's jarring and it's unpleasant. And a lot of times I don't want to search the one option I need. I want to go to the page where there are multiple options I need. It's like, yeah, I could search, like when I did my raid frames, I had to search raid frames. Okay, use raid frames. I had to search player character colors. Okay, enable character colors. I had to search power bars. Okay, enable power bars. Whereas in the Classic version, I knew where that stuff was on one page. I knew where all of it was, and I just went there and clicked them all at once. But yeah, in the retail one, I was forced to search them. And that's how like a lot of people feel. It's like, yeah, now because I can't find stuff, I feel forced to search it. And because I'm searching everything, I'm not learning where stuff is at in the actual menus. So it's just annoying. It's annoying that they did it, and it's annoying that they're probably going to do more things like that, and it's annoying that they don't talk about what their intention is when they do it. If they talked about what their intention was, then that would justify it to some extent, and it would be much less annoying than them just doing it and not talking about why. Yeah, I would like more communication about stupid choices like that, so maybe I can understand. Yeah, and also like it's jarring with everything else in the game now. So now it's visually jarring, and it's visually different than like everything else. It just is strange. It was a strange decision to make, and they slowly did it. They worked it into Wrath of the Lich King first, and then they let it sit in Wrath for like a while, you know, and they saw how people reacted to that. And then I thought, okay, they're gonna put it in Wrath. That's okay. I never thought they would put it in Classic Era. Maybe that's why I got so frustrated with it, because I hated that they put it into Wrath of the Lich King. When I logged in to do like the Heroic plus stuff, and I had a new menu, like I was not happy with that. And so I thought, okay, though, that's the end of it. They won't put it back in Classic. That would be silly, but they did. And next we get the WoW token. Yeah, the WoW token's coming. Yep. What's going to happen is like bots are going to destroy the economy of the hardcore servers, and then Blizzard's going to be like, look, see, we have to sell you a token because that's the only way to defeat the bots. You guys don't want bots, right? You guys don't want illegal gold selling? Yeah, no, I think that like inevitably you're probably going to have a WoW token for Classic Era. You might not have it in like seasonal content, but eventually they're gonna have it. It's probably inevitable. Because if gold sellers are already selling gold like 3 days in, if it's that big of a problem, I say problem, if it's that big of a demand, you know, if people just need to buy gold and there's no way to stop it, then yeah, Blizzard's they're gonna do the same thing they always did. They're gonna come in and say, well, this is how we combat gold sellers. We sell you the gold. You can still hide cloak/helm in the settings? Yeah, I hope so, because there's no transmog. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they left that in there. That was one of my worries, was that they would take stuff like that out. Yeah, it's still in there. See how I had to search for it? Because I don't even want to bother clicking now. So I'm never going to learn how to navigate by clicking. Hat, they're promising something interesting for the season coming out at the end of the year. They're promising that it's not going to be Season of Mastery 2. And all they did with Season of Mastery was they gave us an XP buff, they buffed the HP and attack power of raid bosses, and they might have increased the drops from raid bosses. But that was all they did. You know, they tweaked some content that only 2% of players ever experience. And for the rest of us, they gave us an experience buff. And then the season was a year long. You don't need an experience buff to get to 60 if the season's a year long. Nobody who actively plays the game needs that. You need a XP buff if the season's going to be 6 months long or 3 months long. But yeah, they did a Season of Mastery. People stopped playing it after 3 months because that's how long it took people to get the level and do the content they wanted. And then the game sat there dead for 9 months. And then a year passed. A year is going to have passed with no seasons by the time we get the new season at the end of this year. My only hope is that like whatever they do with the season, I hope they learn what seasonal content actually is. And seasonal content is not content that goes on for a year, disappears for a year, and then comes back. Seasonal content is actually like a content cadence. You know, seasons themselves in real life have a certain amount of time. Like 3 or 4 months is a good time for a season. If it's Classic Era, maybe you do a 6-month season. But doing a year-long season is not a season. It's a year. It's a year. It's an entire year. And I hated that about it. And then they just didn't talk about it. Like the season ended. It was a big failure after the first 3 months. The Blizzard never talked about it. They never told us their lessons learned. There was never like an after action or like a post-mortem done on it. The way like usually when you develop something and you put something into production, you'll let it run its course and then you'll have a post-mortem on it where you get everybody together and you kind of talk about like what worked, what didn't work, what you would do differently next time. What were the highlights? What were the pitfalls? Like maybe they do that stuff internally, but it's an MMO, so they should definitely be sharing that stuff with the player base. Just so we know that they're learning anything from their mistakes. Yeah, Vic, you don't think they know? Yeah. I don't think they know either. I think they realized that people will not accept another season of Mastery, so they said that. They were like, oh, we won't do another season of Mastery. Okay, guys? But yeah, they didn't say, oh, it's going to be so cool. We're going to have this, that, and another. Like, because right now they don't know. But with how bad the first Diablo season was, they clearly have nobody working for them who knows how to create compelling seasonal content. Because if you can't create good seasonal content for an ARPG, you're not going to be able to make good seasonal content for an MMO, because ARPGs have long been about the seasonal content. So if you're not learning from like Path of Exile and Diablo 3 and you're already making bad seasonal content for D4, that's not a company that's going to make good seasonal content for WoW, because that means they don't have any people with their heads on straight when it comes to seasonal content and what it should look like. They're promising that Season 2 for Diablo is going to be better. And they've actually like added a bunch of bosses and stuff. But I don't know. If all they do for Classic Era is add a bunch of raid bosses, I don't give a shit. Because like the percentage of people that are ever going to raid or even want to raid is very, very small when it comes to like 40-man raids. If they could do something really cool and they could have, you know, they could make some new bosses, some new raid bosses, and they could have like 10-man options for the raid sizes. I would love to see seasonal content where I can do the raids with 10 people, because I have zero interest in doing any raids with 40 people. It's too many people that can be carried without putting in any effort or knowing what they're doing. Whereas, you know, with 10 people, everyone has to be accountable to like learn the fight. Oh, Vic, I didn't finish D4's campaign either. I found it incredibly boring and lackluster, and I found the story weird and off-putting. Nathan, good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Vic, I don't think they have any big surprises. You know, it's not going to be any surprise that they're probably going to do the same things they've always done. It's one of those things like where I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for the new season to come out and have it just be amazing. But like I said, it's not even just that the season has to be amazing. You can make one good season great, good for you. But the point of seasonal content is that it's a rotating season. So you do a season, you play in the season, you have a break or a post-season, and then pretty soon after you get yourself into another season. How long is the downtime between Diablo seasons? The next one's coming out in October. So like what is like the downtime? Or does season 1 just run right up until season 2 starts? Because I have no idea how they're even running the timing of the Diablo seasons. Like if they go into a post-season, or if they just run the season right up until the next season starts. Is season 1 of Diablo over? And what constitutes it being over exactly? Yeah, season 2 is October 17th, but is season 1 over now? And now we're just in the waiting period for season 2? So 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, 3 months off? I might have to step away for 1 second, guys. Maybe not. Maybe not. What's my skinning at? My skinning is at 100. It's not over in terms of being playable, so you can still jump into the new seasons, but there's no new content. So like then it's kind of arbitrary to say that it lasts a certain amount of time. So really you have to think about like when did season 1 start and when does season 2 start, because that's how long the seasons are. Unless there's a cutoff where they say, okay, right, you can't make any more seasonal characters until season 2 comes out. Like if I can make a season 1 character right up until season 2 comes out, then that's how long the season is. Yeah, Miha, I feel the same way about it being a waste of money. It's the only game I've ever paid for and played on the channel that I thought, man, that was a waste of money. Every other thing I played, I enjoyed enough, and it had enough of a return as far as like people being into it that it was worth at least checking it out. But Diablo 4 was the only game that I thought, like, man, like that wasn't even worth checking it out. I wish I had done anything else with my time. I got you, Bloodmoon. Yeah, it's still season 1. That's going till October. 1 to 2 weeks in between each season. Okay. Yeah, and that's what WoW would need to be like. If they want actual seasonal content, then you can't have a year-long season and then have a year-long break and then do another season. Nobody gives a shit. That's not seasonal content. That's random content. You can do random content that way. You can do a random fresh start that way. Just call it a fresh start. Don't call it a season. Because if you're going to do it years apart, it's not a season, obviously. And if it lasts for 365 days, that's also not a season. So the only way seasonal content in WoW works for me is if it's like a 6-month season. I think it would have to be longer than 3 months. You know, it have to be longer. You do a 6-month season, and then yeah, it'd have to be a couple weeks off. And then a new season starts. That's the only way to be excited about it. Like, who cares if you're gonna get a 6-month season and then you're gonna get 6 months where you get nothing? Like, then you're gonna go play something else. Please, I just wish they wouldn't call it a season. If they want to do it that way, I wish they would just call it a fresh start. I wish they would not try to make it say seasonal content when it's not. If it's seasonal content, to me, seasonal content means there will be at least 3 seasons per year. If you can't do 3 different seasons in a calendar year, then you're not making seasonal content. The Year of Misery. I like to hear. Matt, you wrote Mastery. I read Misery. That's what the new season should be called then. The Year of Misery. Yeah, that was what Season of Mastery was. It wasn't the Season of Mastery. It was the Year of Misery. So. Yeah, literally my brain auto-corrected that to Misery, even though you did write Mastery. Because that's how prominent it is in my mind to think about having a year-long season. Yeah, it's like the Year of Misery. I've heard good things about OSRS. I just can't play it. I've looked at it. I've looked at it enough to know that unfortunately, like, I don't think I could play it. And it's like it's a shallow thing. Like it's how the game looks, you know. If I had played the game originally, I would have nostalgia for the graphics, but I never played it. And so as someone who has zero nostalgia for the graphics, I find the gameplay style and the way it looks very hard to be interested in. And this coming from someone who plays mostly classic WoW, so seasons are usually for a fresh start, and they usually have different mechanics from the base game. So whether it's new bosses or new affixes or just something different from the way the base game worked, and a lot of people like the idea of a fresh start. Especially like MMO players and apparently a lot of ARPG players like a fresh season, a fresh start, new mechanics, maybe new talents, maybe some class changes, new areas, maybe new bosses. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that can go into a season. Blizzard doesn't know how to do seasons, so we can't look at any of that for like an example. You'd have to go look at like how Path of Exile does their seasonal content. In Path of Exile, sometimes they'll add like new game types. They'll add like a new game type to the game. Like, oh look, now there's an auto battler for this season. What, an auto battler? What? Like, in my opinion, they know how to do seasons really well. And the fact that Blizzard doesn't look right directly at what they do and try to make it as good tells me that they try to live in a vacuum where no other games exist. And they don't have their people out playing other games, and they don't have their leads out playing other games, and they don't have their directors out playing other games. They try to live in a Blizzard vacuum where Blizzard people have good ideas, and the Blizzard ideas will always be good. And I don't think they feel the need to go look at other stuff that's actually better. It's like they're just trying to delude themselves into thinking that their ideas are actually golden when they're not. There you go, Mad Rooster. I got you. Yeah, they don't know how to do seasons in any game, and it's because they won't have their people go play other games. You have to make your people, your developers, your leaders, your decision makers, you have to have them go play other games. You can't just have a degree in game design, or a degree in English, or a degree in coding, and think that that's enough to make quality content, because it's not. You make quality content by experiencing a lot of content, by deriving the best parts of it and seeing how do they fit into your game. And if you're not doing that, if you don't have your developers out there, if the D4 developers didn't play hundreds of hours of Path of Exile before working on their game, then they effing failed. They effing failed themselves, they failed the player base, they failed the company. If they weren't out there playing hundreds of hours of Path of Exile before they made D4, they're fucking stupid, and that's why they fail at the things they try to do. Because they're not willing to put in just the studying. They want to believe that their ideas are great. They want to believe that they can come up with good ideas in a vacuum. And they can't. They can't come up with good ideas in a vacuum. You have to actually go play other games. To like, if you want to work on games and have them be good, you have to play games in that genre. It's the same thing with WoW. Like, it's obvious that these people, they don't play other MMOs. They don't even play their own games. That became painfully evident when they had like an artist and a level designer try to play Diablo 4 and they didn't know how to play it. Not only are they not out studying other games, they don't play their own games while they're making them. Level designers. They have level designers who work on D4 who have never played D4. Because they just see it as a corporate job that a corporate worker can fill. And as long as the corporate worker has corporate credentials, then they'll do fine. Gone are the days of like Blizzard games being made by gamers. Like, those days are gone. Yeah, like the artist, like, okay, so you're an artist. Okay, I think it's bullshit, firstly. I think it's bullshit to be an artist on a game and not have any love, desire. Like, if you're working on a fucking game, you better love that game. How is your art for that game going to be any good if you don't play it? How is your art for that game going to be top-notch if you don't love the IP that you're working on? How does that work exactly? Because art is supposed to be a labor of love. And if you're doing art and you're just cranking out bullshit corporate art and you're not even playing or enjoying the game or loving the world or anything, then that's bullshit. But okay, I'll say, okay, you got some artists, whatever, they're artists, they're art. I don't play games. In my spare time, I just like to take nature walks and look at the scenery and watch birds flying. Oh, okay, whatever, sounds like BS. But the level designer? How are you designing levels for a game that you haven't played for hundreds of hours in testing? How are you doing it? You don't even seem like you play games. But you're designing levels for games because you have some kind of college degree, or you have some kind of connections, or you've been in corporate space for long enough to get the job. What is happening? You know? What is happening? Oh, man. I don't know. This should be one of my no-talk topics. How Blizzard doesn't play games. Their own or anybody else's. It should be on my list of do not talk about. Because I get really, like, worked up and upset about it. Yeah, Johnny, the guild is doing it. There's lots of people. I don't know who they all are. The officers are clearly inviting lots. We are clearly inviting people who are not being invited directly from chat, because when I got on today, there were a lot more people. If I weren't playing WoW, what would I be on? Probably a lot of drugs. No. The first MMO that I ever played that gripped me was Final Fantasy 11. Yeah. If I wasn't playing WoW right now, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Honestly. Nothing else recently has gripped me enough to want to spend like hundreds of hours playing it. I played ESO, I played Guild Wars 2, like I played Final Fantasy 14, and like they all have good things about them that are good, but nothing that has compelled me to play like hundreds and thousands of hours. Can I hearth here? I could probably hearth. We might as well just run back though and try to herb on the way. Yeah, and then I have to go through and I have to promote you guys to members so you can add your chat name to your character name. So I'm gonna have to do that, and also officers. If you invite people, just bump them up to members. I might see if I can just delete the initiate rank altogether and have people like come in as members. Like that would be okay. Like can I just like no, I can't nix it. I can't just get rid of it. Vic, do I have any interest in Wayfinder? Yeah, except for the couple of things that are going on with Wayfinder. You know, like right now, like they're having some really big technological problems with letting people actually play the game. It has a cash shop in early access. And now, so for the cash shop, maybe someone will know this. For the cash shop in Wayfinder, is it pay to win or is it just cosmetic stuff? Because I don't really mind a cosmetic cash shop because I'm never gonna feel compelled to interact with it. But if they're selling actual in-game items that have in-game character power associated with them, then I can't ever play the game. But yeah, I kind of did want to look at Wayfinder. I watched Asmon play it for a bit, and like it looked cool. And I usually give any MMO a try. But the fact that it launched into early access at a cost of $19.99, which would be fine, but that it has an in-game cash shop right away, and the game didn't really function on day 1, or day 2, or day 3, it kind of put me off. You can buy characters from the shop, like similar to like Heroes of the Storm type stuff. So you don't make a character, you pick a character to play as. It's not an MMO if you don't make your character, by the way. If you don't go into character creation and make a character, that's not an MMO. If you have a list of character templates to pick from, then that's not an MMO. It's like a multiplayer action RPG. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, an early access cash shop is gross, especially when you're charging people to get into early access. You're already charging people $20 USD to get into early access. And then to have a cash shop, like, is kind of like off-putting. If it's just for cosmetics, I can understand, like, whatever. I really wish they'd wait till they launch the actual functioning game to have a cash shop. But the problem is that, like, you know, they feel like they have to make a certain amount of money. They know the only way they're going to make that money is by having a cash shop. It's pretty messed up, but that's kind of what's happened to the industry. It's a hero MMO kind of thing. Yeah, no, it's not an MMO then. I wish they wouldn't call it that. Yeah, so I have less interest hearing that. Like, if I have to pick from character templates, and they're gonna sell me templates, like, if it's like Heroes of the Storm MMO, like, I don't like that. I want to make my character. I don't want to be looking at characters they made, like, oh damn, that guy looks cool, but he's $25.99 USD. No, that puts it on the list of games I can never play. And it's really unfortunate when an MMO comes out like that and like you can't play it because of like the decisions they made for development. Like, yeah. And I wish they would call it just an online multiplayer action RPG and not call it an MMO, because that's kind of blasphemous. It's kind of blasphemous. The graphics looked cool. It looked like a cross between like Wildstar and Dauntless. It works like Warframe. Like I never Warframe, another game that I never played because of what I saw to be like a really heinous like cash shop situation. You buy your frame. You buy a frame like in Warframe. You can go to the cash shop and buy like a certain looking frame. Maybe that's more prevalent than I realized. I've never even tried Warframe. It's one of those games that now, like, if you've never played it, you could never play it. You could never play it because there would be no way to get into it and to know what to do or anything like that. Yeah, Warframe is free to play. Yeah, Wayfinder is not free to play. Wayfinder costs you $20 in early access just to get in the door. You can earn things in game, but it's a long grind. Yeah. If a game is fun, then the grind is the fun. To me, like, look at what I'm playing. But if the game isn't fun to fight, to grind, to explore, which it probably isn't, then that's not good. Then you're gonna just go buy stuff. It costs your sanity while you figure out what to do. Yeah, no, exactly, Wix. Yes, that's my point. Is like, I'm positive that if I go into Warframe right now today, I'm not gonna figure out what the hell is going on. I'm not gonna know what to do. It's not gonna be any fun. I feel like, unfortunately, so many like MMORPGs, like, if you're not in it on day one, year one, you're not gonna be able to pick up what's going on. Not without reading a guide 6 times, watching 7 videos. There's zero fun in that for me. When I have to study the game, it's not even worse. Like, to me, it's not even if it feels like a job, because there's this thing called meaningful work. So when you're doing like chores in a game, but the reward is good enough, you can feel like you're doing meaningful work to progress your character. It like triggers that same response. So if a game has like work in it, and the work feels meaningful because of how I can progress my character, I don't mind that. What I mind is when I have to study and research and write out diagrams to learn how to start playing the game. That's the shit that really bothers me. Like, Path of Exile is an example of this great game, a game I will never play. Path of Exile 2 is going to be just as bad because it's going to assume that a person has all the learnings from Path of Exile 1. And so I'm not going to be able to play that either. And so that's the worst part for me, is like, I don't mind meaningful work in the game, or like chores per se, as long as like the combat's fun, the world is interesting to navigate, and the reward feels like it's meaningful for my character. But what I really hate is having to go study a game before I can even press play. That bothers me. That will make me not play the game. I don't want to have to study a game to go play it. Yeah, now if it feels like a job and your interpretation of a job is bad, then yeah, you shouldn't play that game. Like, I like games that make me do a little bit of work as long as it feels meaningful. But yeah, obviously if it has a bad connotation for you, if it feels like the kind of work that you don't want to do, then yeah, you shouldn't play it. But if the game just has chores in it, and the chores make you feel like the work you're doing is meaningful because you can progress your character, you're having a fun time looking at the scenery, and you like pressing your buttons, then that's okay. But if you're not enjoying pressing the buttons, you're not enjoying the scenery, and the work doesn't feel meaningful, then don't play it. The other bad thing is things that are like an endless grind. Like think about artifact power in Legion. Artifact power was an endless grind. It was just an endless grind. You could be on the treadmill forever. There wasn't a stop to it. And so after a little while, that stops feeling like meaningful work. It starts feeling like something that you're compelled to do every single day. I gotta clear all the world quests. Gotta do every world quest on the map. Clear the whole map. Like, that got to a point where I wasn't gonna do it. The button pressing wasn't fun enough to feel compelled to clear every single world quest every single day to grind AP for a weapon we were going to shoot into space and never use again after the expansion ended. Now, if I was going to keep that weapon forever, and I was going to keep leveling it up forever, then I would have done more of that work, because that'd be cool. But obviously that's not the case with bolt-on systems. Yeah, Lael, I've been good. We had a big storm and some flooding the other day. But besides that day, besides that one really heinous day, everything's been pretty good. Yeah, my kid goes back to school on Monday. This is the last weekend of summer vacation. So like my schedule's going to change a little bit. I'm going to be up a lot earlier and doing things a lot earlier. So that's good too. We have to go, what, into the basement to poison this guy? Anubis, I'm an NFL fan, but when you say football, we're looking at so many different people across the world that you could mean anything. But I try to watch as many NFL games as I can. I have a few teams who I like specifically like watching, but I'll basically watch any game I can when it's NFL season. Yeah, I try not to just say football here because I know lots of people have different ideas about what football is. Oh yeah, tons. Yeah, we got tons of folks from the EU in chat. Although the EU is getting to enjoy some NFL now too. They're doing they're doing like more and more games over in the EU. It's good because like those games for me, they play them in the morning. So I wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and I have an NFL game to watch, which is really interesting. It's like Saturday morning cartoons, but it's Saturday morning NFL, which as a 39-year-old's even better than cartoons. I enjoyed playing soccer when I was young. I enjoyed playing soccer a lot. I just don't enjoy watching it. Alright, what is my plan now? We're level 13. I have a whisper to G-invite somebody here. 1 second. There we go. We have a level 13 quest. And we have the quest back in Undercity. Is it time to jump back over to Durotar? I think that it might be. It might be time to jump back over to Durotar. Lael, I'm not using the add-on. No, I have the add-on disabled. I don't really ever plan to use it again unless for some reason we're going back and we're doing solo self-found. But I have zero plans for that in any immediate future universe that exists. I'm kind of just saving Mulgore. It's like, yeah, we could do stuff in Mulgore. Not that this character's ever gonna die, but if we were to re-roll, I'll do Mulgore in the next one. It was kind of a run. It was a choice between jumping over to Tearsfall Glades really easily on the Zeppelin or running all the way through the Barrens. And I chose Tearsfall Glades out of like laziness. And at level 13, we would be missing a lot of the stuff in Mulgore would be gray to start, and I just don't think it's worth it at this point. If I wanted to do all 3 zones, I probably would have had to start over in Mulgore around like level 11. Like 10 or 11 would have been a good time. But yeah, mainly I just was avoiding the run. Which is silly. Because I'm gonna have to go there eventually, I think, to get maces. So, I mean, we could, like, well, we won't check it out right now while we're confronting the elevator boss. I won't open the map, but I'm not getting on that elevator. Yeah, see, that would have been a mistake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff in Mulgore is going to be gray at this point. And we'd probably have to do a lot of the gray quests to chain into any of the quests that gave experience. It could be an opportunity to do some herbalism. Well, let's see. Boop, boop. Okay. Mulgore. Level 8, yeah, they got some stuff here is like level 8 and stuff, but like, yeah, I think a lot of the quests were like level 5 and up. And so we would be missing quite a few things. Questie options. Show all quests below level range. Yeah, see, we level 6 sharing the land. We won't get any credit for that. Level 6 swoop hunting. It's not, well, it's not too many. Well, here we go. Oh, that's the beginning area. We don't have to worry about that. We could do it. We could. It could be good just to be there. Maybe we can do some herbalism, and that way we get the flight points, you know. Maybe we will make the run at least, and we'll make the run and we'll see how we feel. Because we're gonna need to learn maces anyway, and maybe staffs. Speaking of things to do here, I need to get the flight point. RFC quest in Undercity? Yes. Okay, we will go get that too. Let's grab the flight point because I said I would grab that next time I was here. And look, I actually did it. I actually did it. Also, how much silver do we have? Let's vendor. I really would like to be able to train swords, like two-handed swords at least. I'd love to be able to do that. We got a fire wand. Oh, that's going on the auction house. Actually, it's going to the bank alt. And then they will put it on the auction house. I think I'm gonna sell some of the early like herbs just to get some money going. I think that's fine. Let's toss the fire wand and the leather into the mail. And then we'll finish things up here. Monica, are dungeons any more level restricted? I think it's like basically the same level restrictions that we saw from like Season of Mastery. Where, you know, if you have a higher level person in the group who's too high, or a lower level person in the group that's too low, then you don't get any experience. If that's what you meant. I might have misunderstood. Alright, so that one's done. Now we gotta go all the way to the Apothecarium, though. Yeah, the bummer was realizing that we don't have a guild bank in Classic Era. That was kind of a big bummer. I was looking forward to people being able to toss stuff that they don't want into the guild bank and people just to be able to like take what they need kind of thing. But yeah, we learned that there is no guild bank in Classic Era. I think like hashtag add the guild bank. Yeah, I think that they should just add the guild bank. It's such like a good function of the guild to be able to have it. That would make it easy to like share stuff like wands, just like put stuff in the guild bank. If there were greens there, people could grab them. But yeah, apparently that's not a thing. Yeah, it almost doesn't make sense. It's almost like one of the biggest reasons of having a guild, like always in my opinion, was to have a guild bank. So it was kind of shocking to find out that that just wasn't a feature. I was like, okay, so cool, we got guild chat, you know, it'll be easy to find people to group up with and stuff, so that's cool, like, but it's like the guild bank was like a huge thing I was looking forward to. Yeah, and they could put the guild bank in if they wanted. If they can change my interface menu, and everyone's okay with that, I'm sure everyone who plays Classic would be absolutely fine with them putting in the guild bank. I can't see any players being like, oh no, guild bank's gonna ruin the game. If the guild bank's in it, it's not classic anymore, guys. Like, I can't see any human being having that reaction to the guild bank. They'll put a WoW token in before they put the guild bank in, though. You know what I mean? It would probably be a heavier lift, like programming-wise, to put the guild bank in than it would be to put the WoW token in. Look at old school Sylvanas. Awesome. We'll get a little screenshot of us hanging out because we're buddies from way back in the day. There we go. Yeah, like a guild bank alt, like then everybody has to send stuff to that person, then that person has to like manually like send people things. That sounds like, yeah, like everyone's just gonna have their own bank, their own alt basically for their bank. And like if people want stuff, you know, just toss it into guild chat. Like if you have some stuff that you don't want and you want to see if anybody in the guild that needs it or wants it, just like toss it into guild chat. You can mail it to them and then 72 hours later they get the mail. It's probably not 72 hours. I don't know how long it is. Is it an hour? It's an hour for me to send myself mail. I don't know how long it takes for like players to send each other mail in Classic era. She was a night elf back then. she looked kind of night elf-esque. Yeah. Because she was you know, she was a high elf but she was undead. So she just got night elf skin. That's what happened. Alright, so we're gonna head out of here now. I think we're done. We'll head to the Zeppelin. And maybe we'll do the run. On the way, we have this warrior quest, which I don't really remember. He's a veteran of many battles. You will find him south of Far Watch Post. Between the Barrens and Durotar to the east. Oh, okay. So maybe we will pick up that as well. As we head out that way. What's going on, Guild Jet saying that WoW tokens are in the game already? They're in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I don't think they're in Classic era yet. But then again, we talked about earlier how Blizz often does things without actually communicating, so... I'm not getting on that elevator. Never get into an elevator that's open and waiting for you. That's the trick of not dying to the elevator boss. And never get off an elevator when like you didn't watch it open. Like if you didn't see it open, if you look away and you look back and the elevator's open, don't get off of it. Just wait till next time. That was what killed my priest. We went up, I was eating a sandwich. I waited too long, I looked up, the elevator was open, I tried to get off of it, my toes clipped on the edge, the elevator went down, and then I went down. Don't eat sandwiches while going up and down elevators. It does sound like a superstition or something. Yeah, don't get into an elevator that's ready and waiting for you. I feel like, especially like in real life, if you encounter an elevator and the door is open and there's no other people in it, and you didn't press the button yourself, don't get on that elevator. Especially in real life, if you encounter an elevator and the door is open and there's no humans in it, just let the door close. Don't get on that elevator. The elevator can't smush you. You can fall off of it. It cannot smush you, I don't think. I don't know if you can ever get into the elevator shaft without falling to your death anyway. But if somehow you ended up at the bottom alive, I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible. Every door is an opportunity. Okay, fair. Sometimes the opportunity you have, though, is the opportunity to get your character killed. Sometimes that, too, that is an opportunity. It's just not like a positive one, you know? Yeah, we could ask for like less fall damage in the elevator so it doesn't kill anybody. I'm surprised that Undercity Elevator was not the name of one of the servers. I'm sure if they had to come up with 2 more servers, Undercity Elevator would be one of the server names. Yeah, the Horde have a monopoly on high places you can fall off of. Yep, you've got the Undercity Elevator, you've got Thunder Bluff, you've got Thousand Needles places. Lots of opportunity for you to fall to your death. Just through like accidental normal gameplay of like not paying too much attention. Yep. And it's funny because like the Thunder Bluff bridges, they have these rails, right? But instead of being rails that like keep you in like you'd want to have in real life, they're actually ramps. They're ramps that will propel your character right off into the oblivion. I've never understood it. Why they just didn't put actual guardrails on the actual bridges to actually keep players from running off and dying. It never made... They put them there, but they're angled out to be a ramp. It's just not right, you know? Yeah, like in my life, I have fallen off of these places. Yeah, I have fallen off of Thunder Bluff. I have fallen off of the Thousand Needles bluffs, like the Grim Torrent area. Grim Totem. Torrent. But like, luckily it has not happened on hardcore. But part of that is because I have not spent a lot of time in those places, because I kind of avoid them, I feel like. The Zeppelins, I feel like on a Zeppelin, like, you have to consciously try to fall off. I don't know if, like, I would call any fall off a Zeppelin, like, I don't think it's accidental. It could be, like, just negligence, I guess, but I feel like people push their luck sometimes. And they just want to be, like, on the edge of the Zepp. And if you want to be on the edge of the Zepp and that's what gets you killed, then... yeah, that's almost intentional, you know? We've got to turn in this breadcrumb. We have this breadcrumb in, you know what we could do? We don't have to do that now. We could fly. We'll fly back from somewhere. Level 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's gonna go gray anyway. The level 7 is probably already gray. Yeah, it's already gray. It doesn't matter at this point. It's fine. Your daughter asked you why you were playing a 20-year-old game. Just tell her because you're old. It's easy. Playing an old game because I am an old person. Why are you judging me? That's what I would ask. I will grab this quest now. It's level 9. Oh, maybe we do this now. Yeah, let's do this one now. I don't want to lose this one too. Awesome. Am I going all the way to 60 on this warrior? I mean, time will tell. I'm definitely not going to get them killed off intentionally, but a lot of things can happen on the road to 60. Only a small percentage of characters will ever make it. But we're going to try. I won't run in there and take the bag from them. I have my character die at 59 for content? Nah. Nah. No amount of like clicks is gonna make up for the time investment in a level. Guys, you just saw this chest completely vanish in front of us, didn't you? There was a chest here, we were looting it, and then it was gone. I call shenanigans. And I don't appreciate it. I got layered. I didn't join a group. Oh, the chest probably joined a group. That's what it had to be. Yeah, the chest probably grouped up. And then it got transported to another layer. Darn it. I am not thinking there's going to be a lot more bags this way. We might check out the other tunnel. Oh, he says that and then he turns around and then there's a bag. What happens after you hit 60? Can you die permanently? I don't remember how they landed on that. Did we become immortal at 60? I honestly don't remember where they landed on that. Because it would have to be programmed into the server rules to let you res at 60 only, so I honestly don't know. I don't know if Blizzard knows. Death is permanent no matter what. There you go. Yeah, because it's hard to think that they could... They're so incompetent that it's really hard to believe that they could program their servers in a way that like you can't res prior to 60, but then at 60 you can res. Like they probably just don't know how to do that technologically. It's probably just a knowledge and ability limitation or like a workload determination on their part to like make it so you can't be immortal at 60. It does kind of suck to not have the option because on solo self-found you have the option to become immortal. So yeah, it honestly kind of does. Oh, what they'll say though is they'll say, well, if you want to be immortal on your level 60 character, this is why we offer you, the player, a free character transfer to any non-hardcore realm. That's what they'll say. But I want to play with my friends. But I don't want to die. Yeah, they'll tell you to take the character transfer to a non-hardcore cluster because they're offering free. You can take that transfer at any point. You don't have to be dead to take the transfer. So yeah, that's what they would say. That would be their answer as to why they did not work in like the immortality thing at 60. A $39.99 unlimited death package. Unlimited death package for 1 season. How long's a season? However long we determine. They can't monetize. It's funny. It's funny to think about them monetizing like reses, but I don't think they ever really will do it. I think it's fun satire. Oh, where'd that guy come from? That was not safe. I think it's fun satire to talk about them like monetizing like reses and stuff. But I don't think they ever really would do it. But it just goes to show you like how they've made us feel about them. Like with all the choices they've made over time, like that's our satire that we like half expect they would sell a res in their own hardcore. That just shows you like what they've done to us. How they've treated us as consumers throughout the years, you know. Yeah, we could hit 60, go into Nax, and then just get killed. Yeah. And then we could take the character transfer to like Mancrit cluster. Yeah, and then never play the character again still. You know? We are having a hard time with these bags. We need one more sack. It would be a good April Fool's joke. Yes, I think that they might do that. That would be an April Fool. It would be like, you know, like back in the day they did April Fool's jokes, but like they did it a little bit off calendar, and they did it in a way that you almost believed it. Do you guys remember like the good April Fool's jokes that Blizzard used to do, where it was almost believable? It wasn't just like stupid garbage put out the day of April Fool's. It was like the week of, and sometimes you would be like, "Oh, is this real?" Yeah, that would be one that people would be like, oh wait, like if they didn't drop it right on April Fool's Day, if they put an announcement out like sometime around April Fool's and they were like, now offering a Resurrect, $29.99 USD, res wherever you want. Yeah, then people would be like, oh my god, they finally did it, and then they'd be like, yeah, April Fool's dummies. I can see them doing that. If they, but that would have been like the Blizzard of yesteryear. Like, the 12-year-olds working at Blizzard today, they're not going to come up with anything like that. They're not going to be able to time it right or word it right to be believable. Like, we're not going to get that kind of stuff out of the current staff at Blizzard Entertainment. Yeah, they're scared. It's bad PR to joke. Yes, exactly. That word. It's different people working there now. It's not Blizzard Entertainment. It's Rando Corporate Workers Incorporated. Rando Corporate Workers Incorporated had to be very worried about like PR, had to be very worried about like creating any negative sentiment, even if the sentiment is a joke and it's in good taste. Like they won't do it because they are just generic corporate entities now. They're not like Blizzard game developers of like yesteryear. Random corporate entities who must always maintain corporateness. They must never deviate from corporateness. And correctness and corporate ideals. The Diablo Immortal thing eventually, when they said it would only be on phones, yeah. When they said it would only be on phones, like, is this a joke? No, you guys got phones, right? You want to hear something sad? I had more fun when I played Diablo Immortal for the short time that I did than I had fun playing Diablo 4. Obviously, I could not keep playing Diablo Immortal because it was like pay to win. But like, I had more fun and enjoyed my time more in Diablo Immortal than I did in Diablo 4. That's the effed up part. And if it had been a game that wasn't pay to win, I would have loved playing it on my phone in my downtime. And I don't play games on my phone, okay? I don't play any games on my phone. But I was like, man, this gameplay is good. I'm having fun. I was like, oh, it's pay to win. Shit, can't keep playing it. Alright, that's everything we need. Let's get back and turn this one in. Then I think we have quite a run ahead of us. That's a good point, Vic. Yeah, they can make stuff that's fun to play, but then everything else surrounding the game is bad. Yeah, like the monetization, the systems, the longevity of the systems. Yeah. That's what Diablo Immortal was. I was like, oh man, what a fun game to play. Nope. You gotta pay to win. You gotta pay to get the best items out of every run. The best gems or crests or whatever they were called. All mobile phone games are pay to win. Essentially, yeah. Yeah. Like, they are... It's because a lot of them are free to play. So they feel like that's a justification to put, like, pay to win. Because, like, listen, you're always going to make more money with pay to win than you are with selling a game at, like, face value. Chiefs are playing right now? Oh my god, I just found out the Chiefs are playing right now. Why? Why, I ask. My wife just told me the Chiefs are playing right now, so I'm missing a Chiefs preseason game, which is like, yeah, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Stream over. I have to go watch the Chiefs game. What day is it today? It's Sunday, isn't it? Is it Sunday today? Dang it. Or is it I don't even know what day it is. It's Saturday, isn't it? It's the Browns. Browns versus Chiefs. Sorry, I got completely distracted. It's Saturday. It's preseason, so they're playing on Saturday. Damn it. 1 WoW token per res? That'd be expensive. Alright, we're not going to do the level 11 right now. If we want to get over to Mulgar, I think that now would be the time to make the run. As far as the Hearthstone, maybe I'll set it in Razor Hill on the way. Agent Dad, good evening, man. Thanks for being here. JD Raider, we will be doing dungeons probably either tonight or tomorrow. We can do the first one. I'm level 13 right now. I'd like to be level 15 before I do RFC. And then as soon as I am at level for RFC, I will definitely be looking to put a group together. And we'll probably run them multiple times. They have a 24-hour lockout. That I like that because that way I can do it even if I don't have all the quests yet. Because I don't really want to go into Skull Rock right away. You gotta go into Skull Rock to get some of the quests for RFC. I'd like to be able to do RFC at least once before going into Skull Rock. But yeah, we're gonna do it either tonight or tomorrow. Once we get going and there's lots of dungeons to do, I want to do at least like a dungeon a day. I'd like to clear every dungeon we have access to every day. So like if we're level 25, like in a day, I'd like to do Shadowfang Keep, BFD. And at least get those done every day while we're in level range. That would be ideal for me, to increase like the amount of items we can get, but it's gonna kind of depend on like what the kill experience is like. I don't really know where Blizzard landed on what they're doing with kill XP within the dungeons. For a while they said they were gonna half all XP, which sounds effing horrible. And then they said they were gonna hold all XP from kills until you kill the boss, and then the boss would grant all the XP from the monsters that you would have killed up to the boss. I don't really like that either. What I really wish is that they had just left the XP alone. I really wish they had just left the XP alone and just stuck to the 24-hour lockout and just left it alone. But I don't think they left it alone. I have a feeling that they did something to it. 50% for mobs, more XP on bosses. But does the more XP on bosses make up for the 50% that I'm losing on the effing kills? We'll have to see. Like if we do a dungeon and I don't gain significant experience from it, then we probably won't farm them every day. We'll probably just do them once or twice. Because like for me, a lot of the dungeon is the kill experience. Yeah, I get the reasoning that they don't want people to go in and farm trash without killing a boss. I will say this. You can still do that. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, because you can go in and just kill up to the first boss, but I guess I get it. Like, the 24-hour lockout already stops people from farming trash. It already stops you, right? Or did they not lock people out of dungeons? Did they just lock the bosses out? Like, you can go in the trash. That's their bad. No. They should have made it so you can't enter the dungeon except off lockout. Did they make it so you can go into the dungeon, but the bosses won't be there? If you've killed them in the 24-hour lockout? Because that's a stupid way to do it. Oh, that's stupid though. So if you... Okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So I don't know how many dungeons we'll be doing. It depends. I don't trust them to have given the right amount of XP on the boss kill to make up for the loss of the XP from the mobs. I don't trust them to do basic mathematics or basic coding. So I'll feel it out. We'll do the dungeon run for RFC, and if I feel like I got a decent amount of experience once I've cleared it, then we'll do the dungeons multiple times. If I do RFC and I feel like we got no kill experience at all, then we'll probably only be doing them once. Yeah. What a stupid way to do anything. It's really easy. So what you do is like you don't have anything respawn. You know, if I cleared to a boss, if I re-enter the dungeon with 24 hours, then all the mobs are dead and the boss is dead. You know, don't make any of it respawn for me within the 24-hour lockout. That way, there's no way to go back in and farm up the enemies. Also, let's point this out. There are plenty of elite villages in the world, like Pyrewood Village, like the Gorduni Ogre villages, where there are elites in the world. And those elites will continue to respawn over and over and over again. And those elites give the amount of experience that an elite gives. So if players were really interested in grouping up and grinding on elites, they can still do this. They could still do it in many, many places, all throughout the world, at all levels of gameplay. Starting with like Pyrewood Village, starting with Loch Modan and the Gorduni Ogres. So did they take away kill experience from those elite NPCs also? Because otherwise, if all I wanted to do was get into a group and grind elites, I don't have to go into a dungeon. I can just go somewhere in the world and do that. It's not stopping people from grinding on elites for XP. Fighting against other players? Not if I got a 5-man group that's steamrolling everything. I'm not going to compete against anybody. I'm just going to go in there with an awesome group and steamroll everything and pull everything and kill everything. And then they're going to respawn. And the respawn rate's probably going to be so quick that you're going to be able to go to places like Pyrewood Village and just crank out kills. So unless they did something to affect the XP of elites in the world, then all the changes they made to dungeons are fucking meaningless besides the lockout. Besides the lockout, the fact that I can go grind on elites out in the world makes every other change they made to dungeons pointless. It's pointless. Do I think Blizzard thought of that? No, they don't play their own game. Why would they think about it? I'm stupid. Like, I can't think about anything, but the thing I have going for me is I play a lot of the game. So yeah, I guess like, yeah, in order to think about what I just thought about, they would have had to have spent some time playing Classic. They'd have to have some familiarity with the fact that there are elite villages in the game where any group of 5 people, hell, you can take 3 people and you can go grind on elites in the world and you're going to get a ton of experience. And it's not going to take 5 people to kill those elites. You need 5 people in a dungeon because you got to be able to take the boss out. That's why you need 5 people in a dungeon. 3 players can kill elites all day long, especially if it's a good group comp. So I could take 3 people to Pyrewood Village and we could just farm there for a couple hours and get all kinds of kill XP. And 2 things are happening. We're not out in the world because we're in the elite village. And we're doing the thing that they're trying to stop us from doing inside of a dungeon, which is grinding on elites over and over again for XP. Yeah, I don't think that they have the capacity to think about anything, and I don't necessarily think it's because they're all stupid, although a lot of them probably are. I think it's because they don't play their own games. I think that's why they seem so stupid, and why a lot of their decisions you can easily like poke holes in almost all of their decision making, because the people making the decisions, they aren't playing the game. They don't play the game. They haven't played the game. They didn't play the game. Because they're 12 years old. And they don't play games. They're an artist, or they're a coder, or they're a lead, or they're a manager, or they're a software developer. But they're not a gamer. You can't be a gamer and work in corporate America. Fuck, when I worked in corporate America, nobody knew I was a gamer until I started my channel. And they're like, "Oh, Rob, you play games?" Yeah, my whole life. Because it's just like, you don't talk to people about it in corporate America. And like, you'd think a game company, it would be different. But apparently it's not. These MFers don't play games. And they certainly don't play their own 20-year-old game. You know what I mean? If they're playing games, they're playing like Apex or Fortnite or something like that. Because they're 12. God. Hey, who wants to go farm Pyrewood Village? I need 2 people to come farm the crap out of Pyrewood Village when we get there so we can just get a ton of kill XP. We're just going to rake it in. Let's rake in the kill XP in the elite villages. I just want to farm them for a couple hours. Oh yeah, Clint, absolutely. Yeah. No, they justify it to themselves too. That's also a personal thing that the individual people will do. They'll be like, well, I work so much. I have to make all the art. I have to design the levels. Where am I going to find time to play the game? I got to design all the levels for the game. How am I going to ever play? Son of a bee. Yeah, it's really easy to see. Like, it's easy to justify not playing the game and not playing games. Like, yeah, you're a corporate entity. You're a corporate nondescript employee. Of course you don't have time to play games. You've got 6 kids, 2 wives, and you work 90 hours a week. Why would you play video games? You work at a fucking video game company. Go work somewhere else. Yeah, go work at another corporation. Like, yeah, you don't want to... If you don't have time to play video games, you don't have time to play your own game, please, for the love of God, and for the love of video games being good, please go work anywhere else in corporate America. There are lots of places you could work where you don't have to play games. But if you're making games, you better be playing games. And if you're not, then you're a poser. You need to go do something else with your life. And part of it's on Blizzard. Yeah, part of it is like they should be giving people time in their work week to play the games. Like, that sounds like a reasonable thing to do. The best kind of work week is a 4-day work week. So give people Friday and make them play the effing game that they work on. Don't let them play anything. Make them play the game that they work on. Give them Fridays and make them play the game they work on. Incentivize them in other ways to play the game in their downtime. Incentivize them in other ways as employees to play the game that they work on in their downtime. Because the more your developers play the game they're developing, the better the game is going to get. Is there anybody that thinks the games could possibly get worse if the people are playing them? Doesn't it just make sense that the more the developers play their own game, the better the game will get? Because then the developers are the gaming community. You know, they are the people having the problems. They are the people coming up with solutions. They could accidentally make it worse. I doubt it. Look at season 1 of Diablo 4. Look at all of Diablo 4. I don't know if they could accidentally make it worse. Anyway, did we get the flight point? Probably not. Yes, we did. We're good. Let's head to the south. Yeah, there's a lot of issues, but you know, I understand what it is to work in corporate America and to work a bunch of hours and to be tired at the end of the day, and I understand what it is to have kids and a wife. And if you're passionate about games, you'll still find time to play them. And I would think you would be even more incentivized, I would hope, if you worked for a video game company. It just is obviously like it's a no-brainer. There's not an excuse. There's not an excuse for these people not playing their own games. We can make up excuses, you know, but there is no good reason why you should be working on a game. What you spend 5 years working on a game. You're telling me in 5 years you've never had time to play the game that you're working on? You're telling me in 5 years you never had time or thought it was a good idea to check out a competitor's game to see how the competitor is doing it? Like, it's just, I don't buy it. I think it's just a load of excuses. I think it's a load of excuses because I think that they just hire people that are not gamers. They hire nondescript corporate workers with a resume and a college degree, who they can pay as little as possible, and they're not, and the majority of them are not gamers, have not been gamers, and will never be gamers. And that's not how you run a game company. Not one that makes soulful, great, amazing games like Blizzard used to. You get corporate games like Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal. What if they don't like the genre they're working on? They shouldn't be on that team. Why the hell would you put someone on that team? Let's say you have a group full of gamers and every developer is a gamer and they say, "Yeah, hey, listen, I don't do ARPGs." You say, "Okay, well, what do you like?" "I really like TCGs." "Okay, hey, why don't you go do a run on the Hearthstone team? See how that works for you." It's really easy. You put people where they will do the best. If you're trying to be successful and make things with soul, then you put people where they will do the best. Yeah, they don't want to work on the team. They need another job. Go work for Coca-Cola. Like, go work somewhere else. Get out. You're not a fan of Diablo. You're not a fan of ARPGs. Why the hell are you on this team? Why are you making this game? You're making it like you'd make any other corporate product, and that's bullshit. Like, games should not just be a corporate product. And the more that we think it's okay, and the more excuses we come up with, like, the more shitty games we're gonna get shipped. You know, you're gonna get shipped 7 more Diablo 4s. Shiny freaking game, looks great, has tons of issues, doesn't play well because nobody on the team ever played it. Nobody on the team ever played it. Two people played it, and they probably saw the issues with it, and they're like, "Hey guys, we got some problems." Like, no, it's fine. Everything's great. It's gonna be so shiny and beautiful looking. 2 people played it. No, they're not. That's another problem. They're just hired. They're not hired for anything specific. They're just hired. They're hired. That's a corporate resume, a corporate employee. They just hire them. You fit, the resume fits. We like how you look. We like how you sounded in the interview. You said the right corporate things in the interview. You used your best corporate speech on me when I interviewed you, so therefore you are hired. How do I make the map a window? Leatrix Maps handles that, Joey. Yeah. It's a add-on, Leatrix Maps. But yeah. Anyway, end of rant. End of rant. Let's suffice to say that if game developers played their own games, the games would be better. But because they are full of excuses for why they don't do that, they probably never will. We could point to a Realm Reborn, okay? Final Fantasy 11 or 14 launched and it was complete hot garbage mess. It was a terrible game. It ran terrible. It looked terrible. It was terrible. But they didn't give up on it. They wanted to remake it. And so the game director of Final Fantasy 14 told all the employees to go home and play 100 hours of World of Warcraft. Because at the time, World of Warcraft was the golden standard of MMOs. So they sent the employees home. They did not begin development on Final Fantasy 14 until all the devs and everyone working on it had played a shit ton of World of Warcraft. Then they all came back and they made Final Fantasy 14, which I think most people who don't, even people who don't play it, have to agree it's an amazing game that does really, really well by its fan base. Because they were made to go out and play the competition's games. Everybody. Artists, coders, leads, managers, writers, they all went out and they played a crap ton of the competitor's MMO. And they were able to make an amazing game that is still around today and still does amazing. That's all. That's the last part of the argument was that. That's the last thing I'll say about it. How did you get the name Holy Cow, man? You must have been like Johnny on the spot with that one. Nice job. Good name. Oh, not Holy Cow though, I can't type. There we go. Gotcha. Tom, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, the later is more charismatic about how to do it. Yeah, it's just that they thought about it. The guy was like, we want to make an amazing MMO. How do we do that? Oh, we should have our people go play an amazing MMO and they can come back with lessons learned. It's just simple. It's so stupid simple to think that the way you make something great is by getting experience in the thing you're trying to make. It'd be like trying to write a novel when you've never read a single book. It'd be like trying to write a story when you know English, but you have never read a single story ever created. And you'd be like, well, I'm not a reader, I'm a writer, so I don't really read, I don't do all the reading stuff, but what I do is I write stuff. Oh, so you've never read anything? No, I don't read, I'm a writer, I just told you that. I don't know what's so hard to understand. It'd be like that. Reading is hard. I'd rather just write the words down and other people read them. Why would I spend time reading anybody else's stuff? I read a book once. That's what Blizzard developers say in the interview. They're like, oh, so like, tell me about your history and your love of games. And so they're like, oh yeah, you know, I played a game once. It was good. Yeah. It was Mario Brothers on the SNES, and I had a lot of fun. But the reality is, like, when people are in that interview, you know what people do when they're in that interview for a job at Blizzard, and they're asked the question to like talk about like video games? They lie. They lie. They use a lot of really nice corporate sounding words to express their love of the genre, and they've rehearsed it in a mirror, and they wrote it out, or they had ChatGPT write it out for them a couple nights before, and they just lie. They lie about their love for games, and they make it sound good. And corporate people only care about that. They only care if you can make it sound good. So they don't care about the truth or validity behind any of it. And that's how these people get those jobs. Because they're probably asked the question, like, explain to me your history with video games and your love of video games. So they're probably asked that in the interview phase. But they just lie, like people do in interviews to get a job they want. I said the rant was over. Oh, come on. You know better. The rant is about to be over. I promise you that in 45 seconds to a minute and a half, this rant will come to an end. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, about a minute and 40 seconds, I think. The rant will be over. Rumblehoof. Hello, Rumblehoof. We made it, guys. We got here to Bloodhoof Village. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's been a fun day. Thank you for tolerating the rant about Blizzard. I do appreciate you guys sticking around for that as well. And as promised, this rant is going to be over because I am going to take a break here. I want to get on later tonight, so I do want to get on in the evening. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, but I will try to. And I'll try to put up a scheduled stream as soon as I know if I'm going to be able to get back on today. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here. And as always, take care of yourselves out in the real world and take care of each other. And we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.